Good evening, dear friend. How are you? How are you doing? Welcome to this Thursday evening thing of ours. I'm so glad you could join us. Please make sure you know the routine. You've got to subscribe. We're getting across. We have new followers. New people are coming on board and they're saying, hey, I like this. I like these folks because that's who we are. We're just good, plain folks. Nothing fancy here, my friend. No left, no right, down the middle. I'm not even going to say it's truth. Two things. Tomorrow's a big Fani Wilson case before the judge, Judge McAfee. And before we do that, how many of you folks got the chance to see the much awaited Cat Williams interview with Joe Rogan? Anybody see that? What is it? 3 hours, I think it was. 3 hours? Did you happen to catch that? Who saw it? Anybody? I don't want to talk. I mean, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to ruin your day. I saw it, and I don't know what the hell it was. It was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life. It's like two stoners kind of mumbling. And I don't know what I think Cat Williams was out of his mind on some kind of weed or something. Sometimes, I mean, I thought Joe sounded fine. Joe was like wondering, you could tell he was thinking, this is what I was waiting for. Where do I get that? Where do I get that Club Shay Shay excitement? This is kind of incoherent. What the hell is he talking about? What is he was gone, as we say in West Tampa, beat the out. He was, it's like they say that the time of the recompensation and the reconstitution is not a Hollywood vector, but is nonetheless problematic. It's something that we ought to find our way back to in terms of the relevance. What the hell are you talking about? And Joe Rogan he's trying. Hey, did you see this cool thing about the water? And maybe the world was covered in water. Maybe there was examples of it. Can I show you this? Can I show you this? Look at the rings. Look at the rings, Cat. Look at the rings of the they call it the Diluvian period. He didn't say that. I'm saying that. And the time of water is also known as ablution. And that's the time that I think is most reflective of the. I was driving down the West Side Highway today. I'm in a Yugo, a stretch, and people are wondering, hey, but yes, it's real. But I'm laughing to myself. I had it on the transistor. I'm laughing. I'm thinking, what is this? This was it. This is the guy that took Club Shay Shay through the roof. Remember this? Do you remember this? And how come black men have to wear dresses? How come Tyler Perry makes you wear a dress? I'm not going to wear a dress. I'm a man. Joe Rogan, the title of the walrus is not necessarily part of the groove that one would feel, but would be tantamount to Hollywood. That's what it's all about. It's the voices. And Joe's thinking, what? Not that Joe needs the numbers, but what the hell is this? I knew. I mean, it was I. You must hear it. It's great. It is just great. Cuckoo, cuckoo. That's it. I am he, and you are we. We are all together. 23 Skidoo, open the door, Richard Hollywood. That's what it's about. He put it this way. He made Cornel West sound like Bertrand Russell. Okay? Because I like to see Cat Williams and Cornel West and Joe Rogan, everybody's stoned. I'm telling you, if you can get a chance, listen to it. It is because I'm thinking to myself, if this man, Joe Rogan must be thinking, who's this? Looks like Cat Williams. Appears to be Cat Williams. This is if ever anybody said, marijuana today is really mind expensive, watch Cat Williams. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. Just shut down. This guy was on, just the pilot light was, and I'm not going to go into any expert. I know I've just read about this subject, but it just goes to show you that sometimes all weed is not the same. And let me also say something to you. And this is important to note. Alcohol, who was it? Hemingway said, write drunk, but edit sober. What drugs do sometimes is to not open up your mind, but create the impression that you've opened up your mind. That you have a new sense of, wow, that's what you feel. It's not that you have, it's what you feel. If you hear things more closely, doesn't mean things are louder, just means you might be able to hear them. You know what I mean? It's just, so I'm not one of these people who poo-poos a notion of drug. I think that that MDMA years ago, ecstasy would have been critical in traumatic victim, people who suffer from PTSD. I think that hallucinogenics and psychotropics and all that are going to be ways of opening up. They can be done seriously, but just watch Cat. This guy on TV or on whatever is the most energetic. The way he uses the stool, the most physical. He's out there with his hair. He's dripping wet. He's so fast and so quick. And on Club Shay Shay, because they were drinking. And that notched them up. That was interesting. But this, please watch it. Please watch it. Please. Hollywood is not a voice. It's a symphony of nothing. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know, the man says that. Okay. Now, tomorrow's a big day. I have loved the Fani. Oh my God. You know me. I have loved this Fani. I would have never, ever, ever guessed, ever, that the Fani, what am I trying to say? The Fani Willis case would have been this interesting. Okay? I am telling you, I remember at the time thinking, wow. By the way, side note, and this is not an endorsement of any kind. I'm just saying this. Today I got a nice little box set, I ordered kind of a gift set of Smokin' Ed's pepper products from Pucker Butt Pepper Company that brought you the Reaper and Pepper X. Like another world. Put something on a little thing, and I'm telling you, it was like your head. It wasn't pain. It was almost spiritual. It was like Cat was. I had it was just it is peppers at a level. Forget ghost peppers, forget serranos, forget no. This was blends of Reaper, and it was just wow. Absolutely wonderful. That's all I'm going to tell you. This is not just hot stuff. This is almost, it's almost like a drug where your head is not in pain, but your head, everything about it's just wonderful. I'm telling you. Anyway, talking a lot of just say no sometimes. Remember that one time somebody said hugs are better than drugs? And one time we were someplace and somebody said that hugs are better than drugs. And I remember being in this room and at the perfect timing, when you say something just when everybody stops talking and just when everybody, there's that moment of silence where what you say is heard with clarity. The thing was, hugs are better than drugs. And I said from the back, but both are even better. And reality is for people who can't handle drugs. Okay. All right. Now, let's move on. And this is the most important. The case involving Fani Willis came out of nowhere. I never saw it coming. I don't think Ashley Merchant saw it coming. I don't think anybody saw it coming. I don't think anybody knew or appreciated what it was that this was about. It was a very simple thing. Ashley Merchant, defense lawyer for Michael Roman, filed a motion seeking to disqualify the prosecutor's office and had the charges dismissed because of some interoffice whatever. And I thought to myself then, I said, what does this have to do with anything? Why would they do this? Why do you think? Why? Tell me, what is it? Why would they have to stop prosecuting Donald Trump and the other 15 or so because of an inter-office tryst? Now, if she had been having an inter-office or an affair with one of the defense lawyers, that would have been something. That would have been a good one. But it starts off at that first level, and I'm not somebody who always just jumps into it because I didn't know who Fani Willis was. I never even heard her. Never heard her speak. Never knew these jadrules. Never knew anything about them. Nothing. I had no idea. No idea whatsoever. Here comes this case. And she takes a stand, and I said, what is this? You're lying. You're lying. Lying about this, lying about that. Doing the head thing and the talk to the hand and Ricky Lake and, what? Wait, whoa, what? This is the district attorney? I've never seen it. I never thought this was possible. I've seen these airport videos where people jump on top of the counter to try to kill somebody. But I've never seen this in a courtroom. Oh, this is too good to be true. Oh, this is too good to be true. No, please, dear God, please tell me this is too good. So what happened now, Ms. Willis? Did you go on trips with Mr. Wade? Did you go on trips? I went on trips, but I paid him back. Why would you have to pay him back? Who said you had to pay him back? Well, we went on trips, but I paid him back. Ms. Willis, excuse me, with all due respect, I don't think the idea is who paid. I think it's the fact that you're stooping your special prosecutor there. I think that's the issue. Who cares whether you reimbursed him? And by the way, since we're on the subject, how did you reimburse him? I paid him cash. What? There were like 1,000, 8,000, 13, 16. Yeah, I paid him cash. I got that. You've got that? Then they go back and they say, who's Fani Willis? They check her net worth, $8 million. She's got gold, property in like Hawaii. I mean, just like, wait a minute. Who is this woman? Where did this come from? What did she ever do to amass? I don't think she's been married. I don't know. I don't. This story is. Wait a minute. Wait. First, let's go back to what you said. You said you've got cash. I've got cash. Then they bring her father in. Who's this guy? Who is this guy? Well, you see, Judge, I don't want to be racist. And here's Sparky, this white judge named Judge McAfee. Judge, I don't want to be racist. Wait a minute. You're black. You can say whatever you. Is this about white people? No. Then have at it. You see, Judge, it's a black thing. What's a black thing? Saving money. I taught my daughter, save money. You see, Judge, one time I was at a restaurant, and the bill came, and I didn't have the bill was $9.75. So I gave him an American Express card. What? Okay. And they didn't take it. Then they gave him a Visa card. They didn't take that. Then they gave him this thing called traveler's check. You probably remember that, Judge. It's called traveler checks. They wouldn't even take traveler's checks. So I thank God I had cash. And I told my daughter, I said, you better make sure you've got cash always. $200-$300 on a date, you bring that out. May I ask a question yet? What's the racial thing? They didn't take American Express because you're black? A business is not going to say, okay, I'll try running this through. Hey, it took. I don't care. But they're so racist, they didn't even want to get paid with 3 forms of American Express, Visa, and traveler's checks. They go, no, I do not. This is probably stolen. Okay, that's your story. That's your story. Now people say, "Oh, this is getting good. This is getting good." Now, when did you form a relationship with Mr. Wade? When? 2022. Wait a minute. You met what? 2019. We were at a party. It was a conference. I think she was a judge or municipal something. I don't know. There was some administrator. There was some quote judge. There was some CLA conference or something, and they met in 2019. When did the relationship start? 2022. You're telling me from 2019 to 2022, you didn't go at each other like a bunch of weasels for 3? Come on. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. That's your story, right? Okay. And you know you're under oath, right? You know you're under oath. You know that the story that you tell now, normally nobody would give a rat's ass about whether you met at a party, whether you're stooped. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that. Nobody. But you just made it an issue because you said it under oath. Now it's an issue. Now we're interested. So you created this. You didn't have to. You could have come in and just said, I had a relationship with him. That's it. It would have been it. That would have been it. There would be no perjury. There would be no risk of perjury. There would be no risk of you losing your bar license. None of that. And if they wanted to disqualify him, okay. But at least you were straight with the court. You were honest. And the judge could have probably said, excuse me, can you show me how Ms. Willis has a stake in this prosecution? No. What does that mean? What does that mean that they had a relationship? What? He just works for her. So what? She could be married to him. Ashley Merchant's in court with her husband. But no, not the genius, not Fani. She started this. Then comes Mr. Wade. This guy, I've seen hostage videos. Look more at ease in this guy. He was I think they may have finished the divorce. I don't know. I think they came up to some tentative, because he's been married to her the whole time, to his wife, Joycelyn. I think his kids are gone. According to her lawyer, who was very good, by the way, it was very impressive. Her lawyer says she's not in good health, needs money, and all of a sudden, at some point during the course of this, during this ridiculous, let me just stop, because in as much as Wade, he did some stupid stuff. No, the best is Terrence Bradley. This is the best. This is the guy that I can't even figure out. Normally when somebody lies, they have a reason for it, right? Doesn't it make sense to you? You lie because you have a reason to lie. You lie because you have a reason to lie. Some motivation, something that says, I'm going to lie because this is my job and I don't want people to find out that I'm stooping my chief prosecutor. And plus, I don't want to lose. I don't want to be DQ'd on this because here's the story. This is the biggest case that's ever happened in the history of American jurisprudence, and I want to be a part of it. You hear what I'm saying? I want to be a part of it. I do not want to be kicked off this thing. Do I make myself clear? I don't want to be kicked off this thing. Okay? Okay? Got it? Do I make myself clear? Look at this. Martin says, methinks daddy's been a grifter for a long time. I don't think so. By the way, methinks is one word, but thank you. No, if you're talking about Mr. Floyd, he, from what I understand, is a pretty noted, or he has a reputation to be a pretty noted civil rights lawyer at the time. So I have no reason to understand anybody's a grifter. His story was interesting as far as the suggestion to his daughter, but no. Here comes Terrence Bradley. This is the best part. Ashley Merchant. Ashley Merchant is Roman's lawyer. She gets a hold of him and said, and they're texting. God, don't text. Talk on the phone. Why don't people talk on the phone today? Why? I don't understand this texting. The other night I had my iPad and I was listening to old Professor Irwin Corey things. So I took my phone and I put it on dictation and I just had Irwin Corey, who starts off, however, he sounded like Cat Williams in a way, and the precipitation. So I'm recording this and I've been sending this all evening long to my friend Gary. We're sending each other stuff. So I'm just sending him, and anything I hear, I put prune juice ads, TV. I just hit dictation and it records what everybody's saying. And I send that as a message. And he's wondering, what the hell is this? What is he, stoned? So anyway, but they're texting back and forth. Ashley Merchant, Terrence, I'm feeling a little weird about this. I'm feeling a little strange about this. What do you mean? Well, I'm feeling a little strange because this is a pretty tough thing. This is a big case. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now he's feeding her this information. Are you sure about this? Absolutely. Are you sure that they had a relationship prior to 2022? Absolutely. Now, this is Nathan Wade's friend and was his lawyer, his divorce lawyer. Is this privileged information when they were stooping? Everybody knew it. Everybody saw it. Yurty, the woman who was bounced, whose apartment they sublet, she knew it. There are other people too, by the way, whistleblowers in there who saw it. Everybody saw it. It put it this way. I don't know what it is. I don't know about you. For you young folks, all I know is Mrs. L, and that's all I know. But I don't know about you, but I think when we met, like most people do, I don't make announcements. I don't call friends. I mean, how would anybody know anything? How would you know when intimacy began? Unless it was like, unless Big Mouth over there, Wade says, guess who I'm tagging? The DA. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And she's hiring me. You're going to love this. Maybe. And if he said that, and if he said that to somebody else, they've waived the privilege. It's not privilege anymore. It's not a secret. The idea is that you, lawyers and doctors sometimes, and accountants and priests and attorneys, we maintain confidential communications. If the communication is not confidential, if you've told everybody, it doesn't matter anymore. So that could be another consideration. But here's the best part. And if you read this, are you sure? Go ahead. Now listen, I may have to call you. All right, I understand. You sure about that? Uh-huh. Yep, sure. Okay. Well, we're going to do it then. Good. Go ahead. Knock yourself out. Oh, and he sends her asking about the money, asking about Florida, asking. He's there. He's got a that guy's got some kind of a beef. What is this? What is going on? Why is he doing this? I have no earthly idea why in the name of God he's doing this. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. And then what gets better, after this, after it hits the fan, then he gets reluctant. Then he starts to say, I don't remember anything. I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember. Excuse me. And this is Merchant. She says, Mr. Women. Mr. Bradley. Yes. You do know we were talking together, right? I this is after hours of pausing, these pregnant pauses. And they're waiting and they're waiting and they're waiting and they're waiting. And I'm thinking to myself, who the hell is this guy? What's going on here? That's Bradley. What is his problem? He's only been talking to her for the past whatever. What's his problem? Why aren't you talking to me? Excuse me, Mr. Bradley. Do you know when they began the relationship? Wait a minute, Mr. Bradley. I've got this text. Look, I've got it right here. And I've got this thing to symbolize the text. It says right here. I don't remember. What do you mean you don't remember? Is your phone number 251? Well, this is your text. This is me. Hey, Terrence. Hey, how are you? You don't remember this? You don't remember us texting? We texted almost as much as they did. By the way, they didn't know each other. What happened to him? Now, remember, thank God there's no jury there. The judge is thinking, what did I do to deserve this? This thing started off so easy. She's lying. Wade's lying. This guy, I don't even know if maybe he's just stupid. Maybe he's just an imbecile. Maybe he doesn't remember. Maybe he's got a Joe Biden condition. I don't know. And Sadow, who is Giuliani's lawyer, says, do you lie to your friends? I mean, he just goes right at him and say, well, sometimes he actually said, I'm thinking, women. Remember one thing. If ever you find yourself in the unique position of cross-examining somebody, which I always advise you don't, please listen to what they say. Listen to their information. Listen to what they say. Listen. Yes, this is Trump. Yeah, Mr. Sadow is Trump's. Pardon me. He's Mr. Trump's lawyer. Listen to what they're saying. So when Sadow asked him, or Sadow, I don't know how to pronounce his name, when he says, Mr. Bradley, do you lie to your friends? Well, maybe. I said, did you hear what he just said? I would have said, whoa, excuse me. Did I just hear that? Did I just hear that? Your Honor, may I ask Madam Court Reporter to read back that last question and answer? Could you please? That's wonderful. Whenever you do that, don't do it too often, but do it. That's a good idea. Question, Mr. Bud, do you ever lie to your friends? Answer, sometimes, or whatever it was. One time, in a case involving, it was some juvenile bench case, no jury, nobody was there. It was kind of funny. I had a witness I had not talked to before because we were doing this MASH unit stuff, doing bench trials all day long. And this guy came down and I said, "State your name for the record, Salvo." And I'm thinking, I didn't catch that. Would you tell me what exactly happened? I was walking straight down the street, and the dude knocked my sky off, and I skied off back to my mama crib because it was 99 rolling in the hole. All righty. Your witness, I had no clue what this person said. So at one point, I forget what, but I noticed the court reporter was kind of laughing. Again, there's no jury there. It was serious, sort of, but the court reporter, Madam Court Reporter, is laughing. And I said, Your Honor, because he's catching that she's laughing, would you instruct Madam Court Reporter to read back the last question and answer? And please, not what she thinks he said, but the actual words uttered. See, if a court reporter, if somebody says, if you've got somebody like a 95-year-old blues man named Blind Lemon Pledge, remember that from Gigi Child? And if he gets up there and says, "I will say the one right," I want you to tell me what he said. Not what you thought it meant. He goes, "I'm the one who was right." No, that's not what he said. He said, "I'm gonna say the one right." You may not get the words, but give me what he said, because that's not what he said. But we didn't have that. I'm listening to this guy and I'm thinking, I can't believe what I'm saying. And the best part about it is that merchant's thinking, what the hell's going on here? Now, I don't know if, and I think, now, this Anna Cross, who represents, now this is the best part. She represents the district attorney's office. All of a sudden, Bradley says, I can't testify. Why? Because he becomes Mr. Ethics, because we have an attorney-client privilege, and I don't know what I'm going to do anymore. We have the attorney-client privilege. Don't you understand? I can't answer these questions. Whether he was having a relationship, I can't do it. Don't you understand? It's privileged. It's privileged. You can't make me answer that question. Nobody knows this. Nobody knows this. Everybody knows this. Anyway, to make a long story short, Judge McAfee hears it. Here's the facts. He says, nope, there's no privilege. Answer the question. So now he's going to answer it. So at one particular point during this Anna Cross represents the DA's office, Fani Willis's office. She says, so you're not there at that firm anymore, aren't you? Now, I know this is terrible, and you never have, my radio training is never do have dead air. But please, if you missed this is how it went with Mr. Bradley. Mr. Bradley, why did you leave the law firm? Now start the clock now. And maybe 10 seconds, 50, 10 seconds is an eternity. And he's sitting there with his pen. He's doing this, drawing, thinking. Why did you leave the firm? Thinking. Oh, I don't remember. You left because you were accused of sexual battery, correct? Or sexual assault? No, yeah, well, no. But the question again, when did your section? No, well, yeah, well, that's not, yes. Wait a minute, what? How did you go from no to this to that to yes? By the way, perjury does not mean you eventually corrected it. You lied. So when you say no and then you say yes, I think that's by definition a lie because it can't be both. And you said them both under oath. Is your name Gasper Lipschitz? Yes, no. That's perjury. It can't be. I'm watching this. I'm screaming. I'm thinking I've never heard this. And I'm thinking, am I the only? This is beautiful. I never knew this would happen. And then it gets worse. So anyway, so they basically said, you did it because you were charged with sexual assault, right? Yeah. And they kicked your ass out and you had to pay $20,000. Well, I didn't pay them. What? Well, I left the money in the escrow account. You left the money in the escrow account. Are you commingling funds to pay victims of? So anyway, so he shows up. Here is his Wikipedia entrance. Terrence Bradley, rat, turncoat. He's talking to the defense lawyer who's going to bury his friend and former client and his boss. He's going to just kill his name among the Fulton County bar. They're not going to want to look at this guy. He basically turns his back on everybody, encourages her. Basically said, well, here's the story. Check out this and check out where they went and check out the Florida trip and the money and also talk to Yurdi and ask who's somebody. He's giving all this information she would have never known. Never. And then all of a sudden, like that, he doesn't remember anything. I don't know. And you got to hand it to a merchant who said, what do you mean you don't? Blow the screenshot. Look at, I mean, you can't believe this. So here's the best part. They start off with this stupid kind of a lame motion to dismiss, and it turns into this perjury. Now I know, because I know this country, and I know when it comes to politics, people are crazy, but I know that Fani Willis is probably going to get reelected. Despite all this, they're going to attempt, the Republicans, they're going to try to throw something at her, but it's not going to work. I think Judge McAfee's up too. I think he might be a Republican because he has to absolutely, positively, without a doubt, disqualify her. There's no doubt about it. There's no other way around it. No other way around it. No other way around it. You got what I'm saying? No other way around it. Period. He has to do it. Do you hear what I'm saying? He has to do it. And by the way, I need 800 likes. I get 890. That's pretty good for us. Listen, we're a ham and egg business here, right? We're small potatoes. I'm not like the big boys. I earn each of my followers one by one. But the least you can do is to like this. Now I need 800 likes. If I don't, I'm gonna, well, it's not gonna be funny. And it's not gonna be pretty. Because I'm pouring my heart out. And you love this. You love this. Because nobody's talking to you. Nobody explains to you like this. Nobody. They don't break it down and kind of do little, I do little recreations of it. You know why? Because I'm just talented. But when it comes to this stuff, I love it. And I want you to understand it. And not just say, oh, do you think that perhaps maybe there was a perjury? Let's go right now to Fox Legal. Dr. Jonathan Turley. Jonathan, you always notice how it looks like he's crying? I get him on my YouTube link. Always looks like he's about to cry. I say, Jonathan, you okay? Yes, okay. What's the matter? Your eyebrows are, I don't know. I'm just thinking about, the war. Anyway, he always says, well, perhaps this could be grounds for what might be for perjury. Alan Dershowitz, another one, doesn't go on the, I think these are lying. It's like, no shit. What are you talking about? Does anybody know? Does anybody have any 543 likes? I need 800. Do you hear what I'm saying? 800. Don't make me come after you. I know where you live. All right. So anyway, so this tomorrow, this is they're going to have the arguments. I can't wait for this. And then later on, they're going to decide. And Fani is acting. She is so pissed off. She is so arrogant. How dare you ask me this? You're lying. How is she lying? I would love the judge can't do this. Excuse me, Ms. Willis. Yeah, how is Ms. Merchant lying? Tell me. I'm just curious. We're having a hearing. There's no jury here. How is she lying? Tell me what a lie is. Tell me what they said that's not true. Did you go on a trip? When did you go on him with a trip? When? Were you having fun? Are you telling me that? Oh, and going back, I love this. When it came time to these incredible stories, Nathan Wade does the old, well, I don't know. I was maybe 10 times. I don't know. I maybe, maybe a couple of times. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe a couple of times. Maybe. It's hard to say. I don't really know. I don't know when Well, they did this thing called Cellhawk. And I love this. Cellhawk is a device that tracks his phone. And lo and behold, on one particular night, he goes from his home to right by where she is. Now, there's no way to tell that he's actually going there. He's not going there, perhaps. He's just going to this area that's within like a couple 100 feet or so of where she lives. But there's no, this doesn't, we don't know whether they went to, that is true. So one night he's on the phone, and about a quarter to 12, to midnight, he gets in his car and drives over to a place that there's no places open, there's no bars, there's no all-night laundromats, nothing. And he goes to this place, doesn't go into her, maybe he doesn't even go into her house, stays there, I guess, in his car until 4 a.m, where he goes back home and then calls her up as soon as he gets home. But she says, no, but that's in no way indicative of anything that happened with me. This is, she also says, and by the way, these services do not necessarily indicate accuracy. Your office uses them. What are you doing? Your office uses them. You put people in prison for that. What's the matter with you? You know what we might do tonight? I don't know if it's even possible. I don't want to say anything. This is good. We got 900 viewers here. I never get 900 viewers. I'm a very selective person. We could be looking at 1,000 people here. Thanks to what? Thanks to you. Thanks to Fani. Because nobody believes this. Nobody believes it. You can't believe. How can these people be this stupid? How can this reminds me, I think I've told you this. This reminds me of those cop cases. I love those camera vest things where they pull people over. And all they want to do is, man, would you please sign this? You have a tail light that's out. I'm going to give you a ticket. Just sign this to indicate that you have received it. I'm not signing anything. I know my rights. No, ma'am, excuse me. This is not, no. I'm just saying, if you don't sign this ticket, we have to take you into the jail to book you to ensure your appearance at the court. And then they start fighting, and she starts spitting, and they tase her, and she gets 3-4 counts of battering a law enforcement officer, resisting arrest with violence. And she ends up doing prison time when all she had to do was just a ticket. And all Fani had to do was say, were you stooping Nathan Wade? Yeah. And did you hire him because you were stooping him? Yeah. Is that why he's there now? Uh-huh. He's not very experienced, is he? Nope. What's wrong with that? Nothing. It might have hurt her reputation. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And look where we are now. And Trump is thinking, how did I catch this break? They're going to dismiss this case. This case is going nowhere. Who wants it? Now imagine this. The judge says, okay, Fani, you're going to keep it. And if there is a God, and I know this is not going to happen because he is a criminal defendant, and criminal defendants don't take the stand. But if there is a God, can you imagine Trump being cross-examined by Fani? She wouldn't handle the case, but I will believe that day. I will believe. I will go to Lourdes on broken glass to see this. Can you imagine Trump sitting there? And Fani asked him a question, and Trump said something like, well. Ms. Willis, we finally meet. She'll go berserk. You know it, and I know it. And the judge, people will object. Object to what? The judge will say, now calm down. Trump will say, I'm fine. Fani will come at him, maybe even commit violence because she's so high strung, so arrogant, and so completely out of her mind. Do you understand that she's out of her mind? Terrence Bradley, this guy, who's going to hire him? Accused, innocent until proven guilty of sexual misdeeds, paying her off. He's like anybody's witness. He's ratting this one out. Oh, and then I was going to tell you. And then Anna Cross from the Fulton County DA's comes in and basically throws him under the bus. And he's going, what are you doing? Now you're going to turn me. Okay, fine. You know what? Now that you really ruined my career, now I'm going to bury Fani. I got nothing to lose now. I got nothing to lose. I can say whatever I want. The judge ruled it's not privilege. I've been compelled to testify. Oh, yeah. Oh, they did it way before 2022. Oh, yeah. Not only did he told everybody, him, and meanwhile, the lawyer, his defense lawyers, his wife's divorce lawyer is saying he made how much money? I didn't know about that. $1 million. 700. What? This is the greatest story I've ever heard. You couldn't write. David Mamet couldn't come up with a plot line this good. Do you hear what I'm saying? David Mamet couldn't do it. So tomorrow we're going to be watching that. We're going to be keeping an eye on this activity. Okay, we're going to be watching this, and it's going to be brilliant. Okay, you understand? Do you? This is one for the ages. This is better than anything ever, and it has nothing to do with Trump or anybody else for that matter. Now, my friends, please do me a favor. Number one, I want you to follow Mrs. L on YouTube at Lynn's Warriors. You do what I say. Her channel is absolutely the interviews, the stuff you hear will blow your mind. Also follow her on Twitter at Lynn's Warriors. Indeed. ON says 2 questions, if I may. Did Anna Cross quit the case? If so, did she see the text and said, I'm out? Was Wade suddenly standing up during Bradley's question permissible in court? Thank you. As far as her quit the case, that I do not know. She was there basically tearing into Bradley. That I do know. As far as Wade suddenly standing up during the testimony. Is that permissible? The permissible as to anything is if a judge permits it. There's no strict rule. There's no jury there. Just remember that. And when there's no jury, you can get real creative. You know what I mean? Now, if this judge doesn't have a hair on his ass, if he doesn't refer all of these three to the Bar Association, which, by the way, makes him, it's incumbent upon him. He has an affirmative duty to report this if he knows that there's widespread perjury going on. And he should. He's the judge. So that's that. He has to disqualify her office. It goes into this prosecutor's council, whatever. Then they decide who gets it. You don't want somebody too far, somebody relatively near to Fulton County. But what if they don't want it? They can't refuse it. So the new prosecutor can either drop the charges, which is very ill-advised, pare the case down. It's going to have to start from scratch because all that investigation, all those witnesses, all that grand jury stuff, all of that was done in her office. And all of this would have been made unnecessary had Fani just said, yeah, we had a relationship. That's it. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. There is no rule that prohibits people. Marcia Clark, okay, and Christopher Darden were during the O.J. Simpson case. What did that mean? Nothing. I mean, Marcia Clark didn't hire her. That's an inner office thing. That's an inner office. All right, you dear friends, look at this. Liz Solak is going crazy. Let's see. We have right now, just give me 700 likes and I'm happy. For me, not for me, but for Liz. Look at this. Kimberly 728 says, love Mrs. L. Always follow her and make sure you sign up for her newsletter. Absolutely. Newsletter going out tomorrow. Make sure you do it. Let me make sure you give. Let me give you that link. Let me give you that link to her newsletter. I'll give you exactly that link, which is just terrific. Yay. Huh? Oh, I gotta run. Yeah. Let me get Mrs. L's newsletter. Here we go. This is it right here. Right here, friends. All right. That's it. That's all we're going to say. Oh, Laurie Cook, my vote is disqualified. Good night. Thank you, Laurie. Here's Mrs. L's newsletter. Listen, thank you, my friends. Mrs. L's got to use this right now. I've got to run. You've been terrific. Thank you so much for everything you've done. Thanks so much for being a part of this. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. And don't forget, until then, my friends, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Ta-ta.